Let's go weiter in Tza'akah. So now continuing. So last thing we said was Shavah, right? So the idea of Shavah, we said, was getting to this point in your tefillah of where your mom is just calling out, like screaming out to Hashem. Again, internally, but in the way that, like we said, like the fire's on your back, the sword's at your neck, and you just turn to Hashem and just start, so to speak, internally screaming, right? You can't even take it, right? That's the concept of Shavah. So let's go into Tza'akah. So Tza'akah means literally, again, like a scream, like a wordless scream. And the obvious question at the outset is, okay, this seems to be exactly the same as what we just said. This seems to be the same as Shavah, so we're going to discuss in 2 seconds. So, and the pasuk is, Vayanchu b'nei Yisrael mina avoda vayizaku. Right? So the Bnei Yisrael groaned. They groaned from their work. Vayizaku. Vayizaku is lashon of Tza'akah. Tza'akah and vayizak are the same thing here. So they screamed out. So what are we saying? So what is Tza'akah? So Tza'akah hi kasher halev sor meot semes noros habakosha. Al she'ena yachol lahotzi mili mipiv. Tza'akah is when a person's heart is so agitated, it's so intense from the strength and the koach of the bakasha itself. Al she'ena yachol lahotzi mili mipiv. Until there's a point where you can't even let words out of your mouth. That this bakasha becomes so powerful, you can't even say the words. V'rak tzoek bekolo, and you only screaming out just with the sound. And like we said before, this is all internal. It's not external. It's all internal. Screaming out with the sound. V'zoi tefillah shehit tza'akah. This is a tefillah that is called tza'akah. Umevor b'chazal b'zor hakadosh shezoi atefillah be'osamta. That this is the most powerful, and powerful is the tefillah at its ikar strength. V'chaviva hi mikol ofanei tefillah. This is the most chaviv. This is the most precious type of tefillah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu out of all the tefillahs. Oh, don't worry, didn't miss anything. Just started. Ula olam eno chazeres reikam. And if we can actually figure out how to employ this type of tefillah, it'll never come back empty. It says it's a guarantee. That this type of tefillah, Chazal tells us, Zohar tells us, that if this tefillah is employed, if we can figure out how to employ tza'akah, it will never come back empty. And again, we still have the same question, which we didn't answer yet. What is the difference between tza'akah and shavah? They're both screaming. What are we talking about? V'zeh lashon kodsham. This is the lashon of the Zohar Kodesh in Shmos Daf Chav. Oh, that was recently. Actually, no, this is a while ago. Tza'akah v'shavah b'ma'is parsham. What's the difference between shavah and tza'akah? This is the Zohar Kodesh. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Ein lecha shavah ela b'tefillah. You only have the concept of shavah within tefillah. What does that mean? Shenemar, Shama tefillasi Hashem b'shavbadi azina. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, hear my tefillah and listen to me. Turn your ear towards me. Elecha Hashem shavati. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right, we're crying out, we're screaming out to you. Shavati, right? Shavah, we're screaming out to you. Elecha v'terpoeni. So what do we see? So this is basically what he's saying is that he's implying that the concept of shavah is only in terms of actual words of tefillah. As in, the Zohar is basically saying, Shavati b'hazina, Elecha Hashem shavati, right? Shavati lecha tirpo'eni. Here, heal me Hashem, listen to me. Basically, you're saying words. Now listen to the difference. Tza'akah shetzoek ve'eno omer klum. Tza'akah is crying out, but it's in a different way. It's not even words. Shavah is Hashem, right? We said last week about the Gula. Hashem, please, I'm begging you, please save us, right? Whatever it is. Tza'akah is you don't even have words. And it's an infinitely more powerful prayer than Shavah. Why? Amar Rabbi Yehuda. Hilka kedola tza'akah mekulan. Tza'akah is greater than them all. Because why? Shet tza'akah hi balev. Tza'akah is pure lev. So, what is this? It's not who I did, no. In Sak Liba Mel Hashem. This is from a pasuk. It's definitely not who I did. But okay, so it's Sak Liba Mel Hashem. That's the idea. Sak Liba Mel Hashem. Right? So the heart cries out to Hashem. Tza'akah bizza'akah are davar echadhu. They were one thing. That's even closer to Hashem than tefillah and anacha, which we're going to see soon in the next one. Dichtiv ki im tza'ak yitzak elai shamoa eshma tza'kasa. What does it say? The pasuk says that if you scream out to me, if you tza'ak to me, if you're tzoik to me, then what? I'm going to hear you, and I'm always going to hear you tza'akas. So what are we seeing over here? We're seeing over here this concept that tza'akah, whatever it means, which again we haven't fully defined yet, but whatever it is, this concept of tza'akah is something that's on another level. It seems to be on another level, and there's no words. What does that fully mean? Let's have to explain. Amar Rabbi Barachia, B'sha, Sha'amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'Shmuel. So at the time when HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Shmuel about that he had to replace his prodigy Shaul, Nichamti ki himlachti as Shaul HaMelech. Right? Take comfort right? Because because I take comfort because I reconsidered for Shaul to be the king. Maksiv vayichar l'Shmuel. That Shmuel was basically got upset. Vayitzak el Hashem kol laila. Shmuel was upset and he screamed out to Hashem all night. He davened all night. So he niach akol. He left everything. V'lokach tza'akah, and he did tza'akah. He left everything behind him, and all he did was tza'akah. Bishum di krova l'kuchabrichu yoser mikulu. This is what Kadosh Baruch Hu. Ahu dichtiv. That's what it's gonna be. Okay, it's gonna be a dichtiv. It's gonna be positive. Good, right? So kuchabrichu yoser mikulu. So ahu dichtiv. Ve'ata hine tza'akas b'nei Yisrael ba'elai. Tza'akah. What do we keep on seeing? We see when Kadosh Baruch Hu uses the word tza'akah. We keep on seeing the words of ba'elai. Ani ashma. They'll never come back empty. Tanu Rabbanan, Hai man ditzali ubachi v'tzalik. So we learn, seems to be, I guess, in a brisa, we learn that somebody who davens and cries and screams out, until he can't even move his lips because he's just only able to emit word like the sounds. Hai tzlosa shleimasa. This is a full tefillah. This is a tefillah shleima. The he beliba. Because this is belief. Ula olam lo hadra rekanya, and this will never ever come back unanswered. And I'm gonna pause for a second just to explain this concept again. I don't think he goes into it this way, but it's talked about again. It's talked about throughout Tanya and the Alter Rebbe in general, and throughout the concepts of Chassidus and everything. The three bechinas of how Kadosh Baruch Hu expresses himself. Right? One bechina is the bechina of machshava. One bechina is the bechina of dibur. And one bechina is the bechina of Maisa, right? These three actions. And obviously you can understand that the most, so to speak, the lowest form of expression of the divine light is through Maisa, through action, right? Because why? Because when a person wants to, when a person does like an action, then you could see, again, you see what they're trying to express. It's all on the outside. It's all for everybody to see. It's not connected to the person anymore, himself, so to speak, right? It becomes like his ratzon that he wanted to do. He wanted to do something. Now he does it. It's out there for everybody, right? It's not a concept like being pnimi anymore, so to speak. Dibor, again, I'm not going to go deep into this concept, which is very basic. Just to get to the last part, right? Dibor is something that's a little bit more. It's a little bit more pnimi. Why? Because the point is, again, it's still within you. Right, the words that come out of your mouth, you didn't actually do the ma'isa, but the point is, even speaking is semi ma'isa, but it's also not, because you still could like stop yourself, or you still think you just keep on talking. It's still kind of connected to you in a way. But the point is, the reason I'm saying this now is because the last bechina, which is machshava, the bechina of machshava, which is that's the most inner place in a person. So it's the same analogy within a person, right? When a person has his inner thoughts. There's nothing more panimi than that. There's nothing closer than that. A person in and himself, right? The deeper a person goes within himself, nobody else will ever know anything that he's ever thinking about. It's just a person, him and his thoughts. So to speak, that's the highest level of connection that a person can actually achieve with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And there's only certain times we can even tap into that light, right? Of, so to speak, Hashem, when he's in his bechina of machshav, which is purely connected deep within Hashem himself. And the concept here, I think that he's explaining maybe just to be medayek a little bit, maybe what he's explaining is that he's saying this concept Tze'akah it goes to, like we're saying, that it comes straight from the heart. And so what's so pnimi about a person's heart? That it's a tefillah that doesn't have dibor to it. It doesn't have maisa to it. Right? There's no actions on the outside. You don't even hear what the person's saying. All you hear, there's no letters, there's no words, there's nothing except pure heart. The most deep expression of a person. And that's I think the point, that it comes from the deepest place in a person. That there's no external expression whatsoever. And he's saying, if you could tap into that, which is only through tzedakah, because even Shavah, you're still employing the concept of dibur. You're still employing some sort of revealedness, right? When you actually explain the words. But when you go in place of tzedakah, which is pure heart, you don't even have words, then there's no higher level of bechina of pnimi expression. And I think that's probably the concept over here on a deeper level. So Rabbi Yehuda, Gedola Tza'akah, Shekorea Gzardino Shal Adam Mikol Yamav. Rabbi Yehuda says that Tza'akah, that a scream like this, destroys a Gzera Ra, a Gzardino of a person for maybe against him his entire days. Rabbi Yitzchak Amar Gedola Tza'akah, Shemoshelas Al Midas Hadin Shamayla. Rabbi Yitzchak says that Tza'akah is so powerful, it rules over the Midas Hadin Shamayla. Rabbi Yossi Amar Gedola Tza'akah Shemoshelas B'olam Hazeh L'Olam Haba. That a person that Tza'akah overrules, so to speak, rules over Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba, that has the power to make a person zochet to both olam hazeh and olam haba, all from the power of tza'akah. This scream out from the depths of a person's most inner pnimi. Bishvil tza'akah nochel ha'adam olam hazeh olam haba. Reikin olam hazeh and olam haba. Dichtiv. How do we know this? Vayitz'aku el Hashem batzar lahem mimtzukosayim yatzilem arkal lashon hakadosh. Right. So he's basically saying, I guess it doesn't say exactly where it's from. Maybe where you have where is it this pasuk is from? The one that we just read.
Zohar.
This is Zohar?
It says
no, it's a pasuk.
It says Tehillim and then it says Zohar.
Yeah, Tehillim. Okay, fine. This whole thing that we just said was quoted in the Zohar, but that pasuk in Tehillim. Right, but exactly Hashem batzar lahem. This is a stress because go say that's the thing. Okay, fine. V'hine nizbar inyan shava she'it tza'akah gedola. So, right, we already explained earlier about the concept of shava, which we said is also a tremendous Indian, right? And shava is also an Indian of tza'akah gedola, of a loud scream, of hysteria, as we said, right? Hainu karov l'shigaon bezakas habakosha v'kvar nizbar shl'ishtamish b'ofen zeh shel tefila ein tzarich litzok tza'akos gedolos olasos komine tnuos meshunos la'inyan ha'ayin haroim. We said that a person to employ the concept of shava, we said previously, a person doesn't need to go and make all these movements on the outside. Doesn't need to act on the outside. Right again, see what we're saying. You don't need to do this stuff. But what does he need to do? Ella keshiyamod adam betfilaso v'yakir b'daita, when he recognizes in his mind that emes habrura shematzav adam b'lamenu that when a person recognizes his standing in this world and where he's holding in this world, ka'adam shecherev chada munachas lo al savara b'chol eis b'chol rega, when he recognizes that there's mamash a sword on his neck at every single moment of his life. Im mishum asakanos hatvios shekoragni v'nipolzav v'chasada b'chol eis anu nitzolim mehen yom yom. So like for example, there's on the one hand, if we had any concept of the natural dangers that we face every single day, and the only reason we're saving them every day is because HaKadosh Baruch Hu saves us. So we don't have no idea that we just kept on walking and there was a snake, waiting to jump on the next person. Then we just walked by and we accidentally just kind of stepped on the snake, and who knows? That was about the case like that in Gemara. But either way, im mishum v'zeh ikr. And or because of the other one, v'ze'ikr, that right? Hasona, this is the ikr of what he's saying. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu saves us mamash every second with a sword to our neck. Hasona hagadol she'orev lanu ve'eno mesiach daitu afilu rega echad melimtzo tachbolos eich la'argenu la'ardenu leber shachas. That we have that every single second we have a tremendous enemy. We have an enemy who's got a sword to our neck every single second, and he doesn't stop. His entire day is just filled with trying to think of ways to destroy us, to kill us, to bring us down to the Ber Shachas and the Sheol, which are the lowest depths of Gehenna. Betachdis also Nora the Kidasa, right? Mamish to the lowest and the most worst parts of Gehenna. Hu Yitzhara. This is the Yitzhara. Hu Satan, hu Malach Hamavis. And this is the Satan. This is the Malach Hamavis. Who's Mamish? A person literally has a sword to our neck every single moment. Literally, we do it because it's the Yitzhara. And when a person is davening and he's thinking about and really contemplating where he's holding Amad Seba al Sakana Gdola and the Shehu Nasr, but he really recognizes the dangers that he's in, that he's constantly feeling tied with, he's constantly feeling like, I want to sin today, I want to skip Shir, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to speak this Lashon Hara, I want to do all these things, right? And all these things are things that just send us to the grave. They just send us to the depths of of Gehenna. We just have a sword to our neck, and then we do them. We slice, so to speak, kaviyachol. Ubekerev libo tzoek el Hashem umefarish bakashaso. And what do? And when we stand there, we recognize this in davening, and we make a plea with our heart. Harei zut tefillah shava. This is shava. When we then say, Hashem, please save me. Right? That's what we said last time. With all of your koach, that's shava. But the difference is what? Amnam tza'akah hi yoser mizeh. Tza'akah is even more than shava. How? V'dome hadavar. What's the analogy? It's similar to a guy like this. Someone's walking on the road. And all of a sudden, a group of bandits come out with a sharp sword. And who does he see near him? He sees a policeman nearby. He sees someone who could save him nearby. So what does he do? Right? This is like Shavah. Please help me. Right? That's what said Shavah is. That's the concept of Shavah. And what does he see? That the policeman, he's like, oh yeah, let me just go get my gun. 1 second. Wait your 5 minutes, I'll be back, right? And what does he do? Miyad teitze mipiv me'aleha za'aka shniya. Another scream comes out. In that moment. What's that next scream? Pshuta. Bli milim. There's no words. It's just a yell. Just a scream. He's sterit v'nora. That's on another level than Shavah. There's no words involved in this scream. V'kiloshan hapasuk. V'kol asher le'ish yitein ba'ad nafsho. He will give up anything. A person will give anything to save his life. V'kol kolchosav v'rekshosav nikbetsu kulam b'tza'akah nara zu. V'zuliyat tza'akah. That all of a person's koach just gets gathered together and just lets out this yell. This is the difference between Shavah and Tze'akah. That Shavah is, we said the same. It's a similar concept, but the concept is that Shavah is the first scream, and this is even when you daven. Like if you employ it how you will in your own mind, in your own way. But the concept is when you daven for something that you need so badly, right? That we need so badly. There's two levels. There's level number one, which is you're begging with all of your koach and emotion. Please Hashem, help me. Please help Klal Yisrael. Please help these, whatever it is, right? And then just another one where you just like internally just yell. And this again, these are crazy things to imagine, but nobody has said no. Just try it. Whatever that means for you. It might be different for Chai, it might be different for Aveder, it might be different for Yonah. This concept, none of you are ever going to know what the others is like, because that's the idea. It's between you and Hashem. But he's saying, this concept of Tze'akah, if you could apply Shavah, and then follow with a Tze'akah, and he says, for even a moment, not the whole davening. Do the whole davening, you're going to be there for 4 hours, and you're not going to be able to keep focus for that. Right? For a moment. Just when you get to a line, again, this is not Shmoneh Esrei, but like the example said, like V'tahir libeinu ad l'chava emes, right? Just like scream those words in your mind, like begging, and then just let out another following. Imagine Hashem didn't hear you. What do you yell? Just scream again, and this time with no words, pure heart. There's no osius. That's the most pinimi you can get. That's the deepest place you can get. V'hine, coming down with that cold already, Baruch Hashem. V'hine im adam agia lematzav dome lezeh. And so therefore, a person comes to a situation close to, like similar to this, like we just said. Im bekirbo yitzak eshtei tza'akos ha'elu abaro. A person comes to this matzav and he yells out these two tza'akos. First the Shavah and then the Tza'akah. Rishon tikar Shavah ve'ashniya Tza'akah. V'im yizkeh ha'adam. The person is zoche. Yavin es emes. You don't understand the emes. Shakol chayenu he masechta acha shema tzavim ke'elu. Our entire life is filled. It's one masechta. It's one category, one group of situations just like this. Bechol eisu vechol shah. Umipam lepam yishtamish abito izet shel tefillah. And time to time we're going to use this expression of tefillah. The commotion is bar she'ein min atzoresh diaz za'aka chitzonis. We don't need to scream. Don't be that guy in Shmoneh Esrei just yells his head off. That'd be weird. Ela za'aka pnimis besoger libo. Rather, a za'aka pnimis within yourself, within your heart. Ein lo rego shel emes ve'rego shel or bechaye ha'adam kimo ha'rega zeh. There is no such moment in someone's life of or and in life than this moment. Ve'ein lecha tefillah ritzuya mekubeles kimo ha'tefillah zu. There is no tefillah that is accepted as easily and immediately as the tefillah of Tze'akah, which is the second scream. The first scream and then the second scream. V'hine etzem hadavar she'tza'akah. He davka below milim. So what's the etzem? The etzem adavar of Tze'akah is that there's no words. L'chayra, hu lav davka below milim l'gamei. But he says it's important to note that it doesn't just mean that there's specifically no words. It doesn't have to be no words. What does that mean? The Gemara b'Seches Tainis says the Gemara Tainis David Zayin she'etzel Shmuel k'tziv Tze'akah ve'etzel Eliyahu tefillah. Beish Omrim she'etzel Eliyahu gam ha'isat Tze'akah. That Eliyahu also did Tze'akah. Why? But he said Aneni Hashem. But even that the Torah says that was Tze'akah. Aneni lashon Tze'akah. Aneni is the lashon of Tze'akah. Why? What does that mean? Because vehabior the mashmaos tefillah hainu shemefarish tichasu mefarish inyan bakashosav v'Tze'akah he should soik beli echoyel tzepare machshavosav ve'im bazen avkamina im soik bekol pashu kashoifar o should soik aneni. What's the difference? Excuse me. What's the similarity? He's basically saying that it is possible that there could be some words, because he's saying even just yelling out the words Aneni Hashem save me, that even constitutes Tze'akah, even though there's a word. But how? We just said Tze'akah is no words. He says there's no difference, because he says the concept of Tze'akah is not that literally like it has to be no words. The concept is that you're just in this, it's this yell, it's this feeling that you just can't even express. You can't get your words to express what you're actually trying to say. So you just scream, Hashem help me. Right? This is what Tze'akah is, that second scream. The first scream is Hashem help me, save me, this and that, about this and this or whatever it is, and then you just scream Hashem Aneni. Just like yell Hashem Aneni inside. Like Aneni. And that feeling like your Shavah goes like this, like bam, and like this is like, and it, shatters the barriers of the world. And then This up here is like the upper changes. The tza'akah, you give the tza'akah, right there. It's done. You made it. You made it all the way through. Ube'emes. Ikr matzav zeh shchiach me'od. This is a common situation. That a person who's such a mar nafsho, that he's in so much pain, and he's such a bitter heart, that he can't speak in tefillah. And something because he's in so much pain. And there's also sometimes where a person is what? Why does a person feel like he can't do this? Like because he feels that he's so far from Hashem. He feels like he's not fit to come close to Hashem. Whatever sins he did, whatever he did before, I'm not fit to come to Hashem, and that stops people from davening. One reason some people davening is because they're in such pain they can't even say the words. Another reason is because people feel that they're not fit. Who am I? I'm a dirty this. I did that. Whatever it is, I'm terrible. Ubein kach. And either way, he stops davening. But listen to the words. He says, listen to with your ear. Take your ears and listen to what I got to tell you. Listen to what that person is like. That person either in the moment of feeling so close, so distant from Hashem, feeling like he's such a bad person, he can't even approach Hashem in tefillah. Listen to what that's like. That what? That this guy is mining for sapphires. And what? He's digging here, and he's trying to find the sapphires, trying to find the diamonds. And then all of a sudden, bam, he hits something hard. So hard, and he's saying that he can't break it. He's trying to get through. The ground is so hard where he just found that he can't get through. Drives for hours and hours, and he can't do it. What does he do? He goes and looks for somewhere else because he can't do it because it's too hard. He says, what a fool! It's a fool of fools. Why? What did he reach? He literally reached the sapphire itself. He made it. That was what that was. That was the sapphire. What's the sign? The sign was so simple that you couldn't dig anymore. The fact that you reached a point in the ground which is too hard, it's too thick, you can't dig anymore. He's like, that's literally the sign. That's the os that you've made it. Any normal smart person would have not have left that spot and without finding out a way to bring that sapphire home, to bring that millions of dollars home. So too is in this situation. Someone who's like a mute. You can't open your mouth in tefillah, become like a mute, you can't speak. It's because of the fact that you're staring the sapphire right in the face. Right now, you're staring the sapphire right in front of your face. That's why it's hard. It's hard to dig right now because you're staring at it. You're there. You've made it to the sapphire, right? You have the ability now to do a tza'akah. And right now you need to scream. And even if you do it without words or you scream aneni, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's time to use tza'akah. It says in that moment where you get to daven and you feel like you're so far from Hashem, you feel like you're so distant, you can't even do it. You can't even open your mouth to daven because you're in such a tamei place, such and this and that. He says that's just a sign that you've hit the sapphire, and that's a sign that you just need to scream. Like you just need to scream, and that's the way because you're gonna break that. You're gonna break that. You're never gonna, and that's the way that you're gonna get there. So the concept of shavah and tza'akah go together. Whenever you're making a bakasha, this is a way to do it. And the way to make bakasha is a real bakasha that you really need. The MS is to scream out and explain it and say it with all your koach, and then just follow it up with an aneni. Just screaming out into whatever that looks like for every person individually, whatever it looks like. But this is the type of thing that you're going to feel, and it gives you the koach, it gives you strength, and it gives you chayes. He says there's very few moments in your life where you see such or and chayes in terms of bakasha. So Bez Hashem, we will continue. Shkoyach, finish the whole section, and we'll continue with Na'aka next time, which is again another short section. The Akka is groaning. So we'll get to there, and we'll say, yeah, what do you say, Yona?